The blue barcode is Oz. I'm going to get this sorted in the overlay here real quick. But I'm casting today with, of course, Zombie Girl. But joining us now on the call is Todd, the Todd, Le Todd, however you want to refer to him as, the PvP master from Europe. And spawning here in the top right corner of the map, the red Protoss player, JYP.
And his opponent, starting in the bottom left-hand side, he's playing as a barcode as well. It is Oz.
See, that wasn't so bad. I don't know what you were
And it's gonna be so confusing though. Like,
yeah,
I have to focus so freaking hard. So Oz is at the bottom. Oz is at the bottom. I'm gonna keep repeating that in my head so that I don't forget. Because, man, these guys, they really put minimum effort into this.
Yeah, we asked them both if they could log over. Sadly, nobody could. It's kind of funny though, because at the same time, once a month, once a week, there's like that thread. Can we get a barcode tournament going? Don't tell people who they are, stuff like that. But incidentally, we kind of have that happening here. And it's just finishing touching this up. So now you guys on stream are actually gonna have an easier time telling who's who than either myself or Todd will, because they can see Oz and JYP. We cannot. At any rate,
just to make sure, Oz is the blue one, right?
Yes, yes. We were talking a little bit before we got into this about what we thought styles would be for each player. I haven't really got to cast a lot of Oz firsthand. Obviously, we've seen him kind of from afar. He's had a bit of both these guys actually, when you think about it, have had a little bit of trouble with teams in the last half of a year. Of course, Oz with the whole Love Your Girlfriend incident, and JYP most recently with Team Spectre. But I got to see a lot of JYP in Acer Team Story Cup, man. I know you're a big Protoss guy. Of course, the passion rings true with you wanting to come cast the Protoss match. I'm calling Blink Stalkers because I love the opening from JYP. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think from JYP, it's very likely we're gonna see something like that. Whereas Oz, as mentioned before, he's a lot more. He's a bigger fan of things like DTs. I think he can play Stargate well, but on this map and against JYP, I feel like it's unlikely we will see it. And maybe an expansion. We could see an expansion here or there. You see, they both did 3+3 on the gases very quickly, and it doesn't look like either of them is gonna go for a second gate.
All right, this is well, I mean, one of the big reasons I talk about, of course, the Blink openers. I kind of feel like it's, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well as a Protoss player yourself. Kind of with the safer catch-alls, anyways. Like, of all the builds that could beat you, it kind of limits the ones that'll hurt the most. Yeah,
I think if you open Blink plus Observer, you're good against almost every single build. Like, if you think about it, against Stargate, against DTs, against Blink, you're in good shape against all of this. There is only one thing that I think you fear the most, is if your opponent rushes an expansion and you don't see it. Because since you're going for a Blink plus Observer, like, you're not committing to aggression all that much, at least usually. And if your opponent gets away with an expansion much earlier than you, then you cannot really use the Blink to do anything. I mean, you can blink up the ramp, but a lot of the time it's going to have Immortals or Stargate units to defend. You might be able to sneak an Oracle in your middle line when you're across the map. So if you're going to open Blink, I think plus Observer, then it's really about not playing against an expansion. Against everything else, you're okay. And then from there, if both players are playing on one base, you can just expand in the mid game and play a standard game where you get like 3 sentries and.
We're actually going to get a little bit of a role reversal here. We kind of thought Oz was, maybe we have the barcodes mixed up. No, we don't. We of course have Oz going for the Blink, but it's JYP who's going to be reaching out for those DTs. Interesting.
And they are both doing the Mothership Core Rush, which is something that Zest did extremely well in the Intel Extreme Master Shenzhen in PvP, and he crushed everybody that he played in PvP, including San. So
yeah, I love this move. You pick up a couple probes, you recall out, you don't lose the Mothership Core. Actually, it's not going to get that many though. It took a little bit too much damage from the Stalker. You talk about San doing it. The first person I actually saw do this move was Mana, and I'm actually going to see this work a little bit better for JYP here. Maybe get a kill? No, we also just have to recall. Gets one probe kill! Woo!
Yeah, it's very well done, mate. He's gonna get a second one. Oh, he's going for a
really risky.
Hey, he needs to recall. No! He's gonna get away.
4 HP! One more shot would have done it.
So, he saw that there was no Dark Shrine, that Blink was being chrono boosted, and that there was a Robo. Yeah. So he cancelled the Dark Shrine that he was going for, because he knew this couldn't do anything. And I think this is such a cool thing that he did already in this game. Now he's proxying a pylon on his natural. I wonder, his Dark Shrine was seen as well. Is he gonna reproxy it on his natural and delay it later, or Is that just for an expansion and he's planning ahead?
Oh, I don't know, but we got Oz also starting to place down some proxy pylons as well. I mean, it is cool, like the fact that he'd go for the cancel, alright, that's the advantage of that mothership getting across here so fast. But here's what you were talking about as well, you know, when your opponent expands significantly earlier than you. Sometimes in PvP, like, this is a detriment, right? That's 400 minerals in the hole, you're kind of screwed if it's like a 3-gate all-in or something. But in this instance, sadly, JYP doesn't have any knowledge of this, and he won't. He's got nothing over your scout.
Which really sucks for him, but I think he's just gonna expand himself, like here in a second. He just wanted to play it safe, because he saw Blink was being researched, so he made sure that he got enough stalkers in case he was gonna be attacked, that he would be able to hold comfortably, and now he feels confident enough to start an expansion. Worst case scenario, he has to cancel it if there's too many stalkers, and then he works on defending. And you see, even though Oz is already mining on its natural, we've seen that it was in WCS Europe, we've seen San start an expansion as his opponents was already up and still catch up. I think it was against MC. Just because if you know that your opponent has it even before yours started, you can just chrono boost out probes and catch up.
Yeah, that's the nice advantage of the chrono boost, choosing when and where to use it. It's funny though, of course, you mentioned PvP and WCS Europe. Oh my god, because that's like all it's been, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot, man.
But
Sands if you Stardust.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of kills me because I think a lot of my general audience as well that we get on BaseTradeTV, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a mirror matchup, cringe, walk away. But this matchup can be played out fantastically. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Almost in Wings of Liberty, you would never see it get to the stage where Colossus would even be involved. Only the Koreans could pull that off. Now we're seeing that out of just about everybody. I mean, this matchup has changed so much over time. It's got the same basic principles where sometimes you can lose very fast, but that's the case with any matchup in StarCraft 2. I really like where it's come to, and I think we are going to get that really nice late game out of both these guys.
Yeah, or at least mid game. But yeah, right now it's like both players pick a build, they go for it, and then if nobody dies, then they just end up expanding, and then they're just like testing the water throughout the entire game, trying to figure out a weakness in the opponent's defense. If neither of them find a weakness, then usually they just keep on expanding and expanding until finally one of them chooses to make the first move.
Yeah, it's actually kind of curious sometimes too. Okay, wait, there we go. JYP. I was gonna say, you know, you delay that Colossus tech because you want to get Immortals out, possibly Archons as an alternative, but of course it's kind of the end goal of your army to have a couple of those Colossus layered in through the back. So Oz can be a little bit behind in this regard, but it's only just started up, so he can still catch up pretty easily.
I wonder actually if Oz is gonna go for Colossus or not. Like, I think most of the time he would have already started his Robo-Bay. Well, he's actually chasing pretty hard right now. I think he noticed that there was 2 or 3 less stalkers for JYP, so it was correct to chase, but he shouldn't overextend, obviously. And still no Robo-Bay here for us, no charge either. I really wonder, like... Oh, I think he's gonna rush a 3rd base and then go for charge and Templar Archive later, because let's see, he has a probe there.
It's a risky move, but if he gets away with it, of course, he'll benefit quite nicely. And there's the Robo-Bay also coming down now, too, so... Like I said, not gonna be super late to this, but it's gonna be that awkward thing where, you know, you'll see 1 or 2 more Colossus on the side of JYP, but quite frankly, I mean, positioning is everything in this matchup. It doesn't matter if you're down a Colossus if you've got the superior positioning. I like too the I don't know about you, my favorite move in this matchup is like when people use the Warp Prism to warp directly on top of Colossus 2 in the middle of fights. You know, get that nice like surround of zealots.
So in this game there is Blink, so it will be very risky. Yeah. If there is still a whole bunch of stalkers alive. But yeah, JYP, he's got much earlier +2, he's getting Thermal Lance, now his Colossus tech is doing a lot better. Actually, I think JYP is gonna all in. Look at his worker count. He's cut at 48, he's not making probes anymore, and he's adding 3 gateways, so he's gonna go up to 6 gateways in total. I think, does he know about the 3rd base? Yeah, he just saw it. I think he knows right now that he's, if he was to take a 3rd base, it would be so much later than his opponents. He's ahead on Colossus count, so going for an attack here is going to be
and he gets some stalkers for free in the middle map as well, trying to blink away. I mean, okay, they live, but with like 1 shot from death. This is kind of really nice too, because this is that time where he's got a Colossus and his opponent doesn't. 1 Colossus isn't going to straight up win a fight, but there's a lot of extra air of effect that Oz will be missing from his army. 3rd base going to go down. This Immortal's going to take it down so quickly.
Okay, so that 3rd base is dead. I wonder if he attacks behind this or if he just expands and pulls back. And by the way, 4 stalkers are counter-attacking here for us. He's looking to maybe snipe some probes. Oh man, that Colossus.
He might snipe a Colossus. He's going to have to use super blink micro. But this is actually going to cause JYP to possibly come home. What? He's not going to press... Oh, he's just going to take a different angle attack, maybe. Putting that new
I think he might pull back here. I'm not sure if he really wants to attack into Photon Overcharge plus a good time warp. Usually the correct move very often here is to pull back and expand yourself.
Well, managed to snipe off 10 workers for his troubles, and he keeps all the stalkers alive. Kind of impressive.
Yeah, but it's much earlier +2 still for JYP here.
Yeah.
Oz didn't even start his own +2.
And on top of this, let's not forget, Extended Thermal Lance is already finished, so he's going to be able to get some extra shots off of these stalkers. Gives chase with that blink, and he'll clean these up. So, kind of sucks for Oz to lose these out, but I mean, this has also bought him a lot of time. This is where JYP's staying at home. He's not pushing, he's not pressuring, and he's actually trying to get a third up behind this at the same time. So, gonna be really insistent on trying to get this back up.
I wouldn't be surprised if JYP scouted that very soon and then went for a follow-up attack. Double time warp was using me off the map.
Well, he got caught. He lost the mothership core. Yeah.
Why was it there?
Miscontrol, I guess. I have no idea. That's going to suck a little bit, but we got Templar Archives actually coming down for both players, so finally we're going to get those Archons in this mix. Of course, those massive shields they have are so necessary to these PvP battles.
And that mothership core, even when Roti is not casting, there is mothership cores dying everywhere.
Shots fired and Rotti's not even here.
He knows it, he knows it. He's always the one talking about it.
He like wakes up in his sleep. Yo, was Todd talking about me? Ah.
Oh man, Templar Archives going down at the same time, but that +3 attack upgrade so much earlier for JYP here.
Well, once again, he's going to try and push into the third. I mean, he's seen this. The pylon's still here for reinforcements. I mean, Oz is trying to clean this up. Oz sadly without charge just yet. A little bit funny to watch him get kited around, but this is a fight I think he can take. He also sneaks in some units to the main, so these Blink Stalkers going to force a recall. Oh!
He can snap the third base. He can snap the third base very easily if he goes for it. I think he's going to see all of those units now. He's trying to make them run around.
Yeah, I mean, Zealots aren't going to hold up. His own Zealots will hold them in place while the Colossus fire away. Now those units that were recalled trying to come back to the front line, but going to be way too late. Oh, this third base gets sniped off again.
Oz is having the hardest time ever splitting. He's just going to send back one of his Immortals. He's sending everything else to the third base, but too late.
And behind this, JYP, he gets his own third too. I mean, just gets ahead in every regard.
Yeah, he managed this perfectly, and Oz really messed up with the splitting. He's going to take another third base on the left-hand side. He's already been slowed down so much. He's down 10 probes.
It is kind of funny because, JYP's not actually been trying to claim watchtower control. So he might not actually know about this one. I mean, you keep expecting it to be at the third down here, so he just blindly attacks into it and blindly catches him off guard. This base, as weird as it is to consider, might end up being kind of a ninja base in this regard.
But there is an observer just below. I wouldn't be surprised if JYP sends like a Zealot on that third base that was killed twice, sees that it's not there, and then moves this observer just to realize that the other base has been taken. But anyway, I don't think JYP has anything to fear in terms of army. Actually, he's a little bit behind in army supply. 115 for Oz right now. He's done a sick job of chrono boosting out Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, the Colossus count of 6 to 5 in a situation where you would have expected it to be much more to discrepancy. The Immortal counts are actually a little bit higher here for Oz as well, so that might come into effect if you can get through the layering quick enough. But that's kind of the thing about PvP, you know? How fast can you chew through your opponent's Zealots? How fast can you get through those Archons so the Immortals can start hammering away on top of the Colossus? And there's that Warp Prism possibly coming into play. The Stalkers have actually been whittled out of the game at this point. This move! Oh, Rifkin's favorite move!
There's the Warp Prism that you talked about. He's gonna get in there, and I think this might...
Oh, that Warpin's huge. On the retreat of these Colossus, he's got charge on the Zealots as well, connecting to these Colossus. He's gonna try and take one down, picks up the Zealots. He'll unload them once again with a cooldown off, and he'll be able to charge into that last standing Colossus. Archon's giving chase. JYP just doesn't have a whole lot left. He had a huge bank. Where did it go?
A lot of Zealots across the map are doing damage in the middle line, but it doesn't matter if he cannot hold back at home, and I don't think he can hold anymore. There is too many Colossus, Immortals, and Archons here for us. So JYP is gonna try to scramble out as many units as he can. He might even end up pulling probes to try and barely hold. One of these Colossus is very low on hit points. He needs to be careful.
I love that Warp Prism move, man. When done correctly, it can win you games. We kind of see that that fight turn out for Oz in a big way. He's replenished some of his layering hits, but there's still too much. I mean, JYP, I don't know if he can push into this. He's got a lot of Zealots. Maybe this will work. You can always recall if this gets too hairy. That Mothership Core going down kind of fast, though. No more recall available. His army dissipates. What?
Oh my god, what a sick game. Oz with the perfect surround, sending unit from many sides. The units of JYP for the longest time were shooting, actually, at buildings.
Well, you know, there's still Warpers going to be potentially coming in. Yeah, once Zealot gets through. But GG's going to be called. It's we're assuming Oz tapped out, but, you know, it's barcodes.
What a ridiculous game.
That I just want to give a shout. That Archon for Oz, by the way, like as it died, it seriously took down like 3 Colossus with it.
Yeah.
Like that was some nice hits.
Man, I thought I was the PvP analysis guy, but you nailed the analysis. You said that War Prism with Zealots.
Was that saying like a broken clock is right twice a day? You know, something like.